What? It's Friday, y'all. Man, it's so awesome. What a gorgeous day. Look at this. I mean, oh, I gotta scratch my back. This looks good. It's Friday, man. Sun came out. It was supposed to be rainy all day today. So when I get done walking dogs, this guy right here, not only going fishing for men. Oh, that's on the back, but whatever. But I'm going fishing. I'm gonna try and catch some catfish, some white bass, some crappie, something, going down to the creek. Man, I got an awesome message from a buddy of mine today. And we have some theological differences. Won't get into that. That's neither here nor there. But we've had lunches about it, and we love each other dearly, and that's never going to stop because we have different beliefs. It's not like, that's not very kingdom-minded. So we're brothers, man. We're on this journey together. I don't know everything. He doesn't know everything. Only God does. And he made a really valid point. He's like, even though we disagree in certain things, it's very encouraging to see believers totally relying on God and totally just going with that. And whatever that leads to, our doctrinal issues don't mean a thing. It's all just wisdom and things, you know. It doesn't really mean anything if we're not trusting in him and relying on him alone. All these other things, all these other preferences, all these other belief systems that are just arguing points that don't really have anything to do with our walk of faith. Man, I mean, it's just beautiful. And he made a good point. You know, I believe that God wants to heal everybody, but the way he worded it was beautiful. He said, I don't believe that God promises healing in every situation. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. He promises that healing is possible in every situation, but he's allowed to do what he wants. He might, like this thing I had with the flu, it was so cool. I got healed of the vomiting and number 2 part of the flu. It was very gross, sorry. But I got healed of that part. I didn't have to spend a couple days in bed throwing my guts up. And I know for a fact that is what I had, and I got healed of that. But after that, I still had the cold symptoms of the flu, which was crazy. And I didn't understand. And I'm like, God, why didn't this work? I thought this worked. And he's like, over the whole thing, he just kind of taught me that you have to have more faith when you get healed and then not healed than when you just healed all the time. So it was just a beautiful moment where I was like, maybe getting a little too arrogant or something, maybe a little too prideful about not being sick, and I can touch the unclean and they get clean, and that was cool and all, because that is a truth in the Bible. But maybe I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing, because I fully believe if we find out how to fully surrender and learn how to receive from God before we act, like if we can go, I listened to a preacher the other night and he said it beautifully. He said, one of his favorite preachers said, I have one hand on the sick and I have another hand on the throne. And he was basically saying that I can't pray for anybody. I can't lay hands on anybody until I've gone like this and asked the Father to give me whatever he's going to give, to channel through me if I surrender, to give to this person and do it in love. And he's going to do what he's going to do. And just because we don't always see healing doesn't mean it doesn't happen later. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen. I don't know. It's fathomless the way God works. And we try and put a system or a way that has to be, or how come every time I do this it doesn't work, or it works. Cadence, no. It doesn't add up. And it's never gonna look right, because his system is his system, not our system. And we always intellectually try and figure everything out. And that's just not the case. You can't do that. Cadence, no. Come on. God works however he wants. And so I think the moment we start trying to figure him out is a really good moment that he's going to switch the game up on us. So we're always relying on him. The moment we think we got it as humans, we're so feeble and so quick to make a pattern or make a method methodology. As soon as we figured out, he knows he's got to switch it up on us because we're going to stop relying on him. And that's the whole point, is that we rely on him every day. Whatever that looks like in your life. I mean, to me, that just, I pray, I worship, but I like to hang out with him and see what he wants me to do. See when he wants me to pray for somebody, or just give him an encouraging word, or just be love, or give undeserved. Like I was saying before, I love when my server's terrible, because I get to give back the grace that God gave me when he saved me, by giving like a super tip and just loving on them, even though, I mean, they're just weighed down by life and they don't know what I know now. They don't know, and I'm sure most of us aren't showing them that. So we're just talking a good game and not being the light. So, man, I just encourage you guys to rely on him. You start relying on him daily. Learn how to listen to the Spirit to tell you what he's trying to get you to do, and your day will be his. And even though you got to go to work, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not saying that you just get to be like some in the Spirit, whoa, all this stuff. Like, you gotta find a balance, but he's got to be the center of that balance. And there's a way to do that all day. There's a way to not get engaged in gossip at work because somebody's talking bad about somebody. Or, oh man, I gotta work with James today, man. God, why are you putting me with James, man? Maybe he's putting you with James because you're supposed to be the light and salt of the earth, and your light's supposed to so shine, and you're supposed to season that place with the glory of God so that people's lives get changed. I mean, it's real simple. There's no arrogance about it. It's got to be in love. It's got to be sweet. It's got to be selfless. If this thing's going to be what it is, it can't look like us. It's got to look like him. And if you don't know what that means you got to die. The only way he gets to be the light of your world and you follow everything he says is you have to die. Your drive to defend yourself, your drive to be this whatever, to make all this money, to become this thing and I gotta have this car, and he will strip those desires out of your heart when you give it over to him. And no, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They want their fancy car and they want their big house that has a bunch of rooms and they're the only people that live there. And that there's a mindset that he gives you that it's okay if you want to have some things, but it's like he changes your desire for what those things are, and it really puts a amazing shift on your perspective. And then you end up having a bunch of money to give people and to donate a car. I mean, you just get to do all kinds of stuff when you don't even have the money to do that. It's so strange. I have less clients than I used to have, but somehow I got more cars than I've ever had. I'm about to give one away. It's just, I don't know. I had no time for anything. I had no time. Helping people was a burden to me. I did it because I thought I was supposed to, and I was trying to be a good dude, but I didn't want to do it. And I had no time to do it. It's like I always was, I don't know, it's like I was always out of time, and I never had enough time to do what I wanted to do. And now what I want to do is different. And so now I have all this time. It's so weird. I'm busier than I've ever been. I'm volunteering more than I've ever been. I'm having lunch with people all the time. I'm meeting people, talking to people, stopping on the side of the road, loving on people, going to the store and spending hours just praying with people and talking to people while I need to be shopping and need to get somewhere. And somehow I feel like I have more time than I've ever had in my life. And maybe that's because God's the creator of time and he can do whatever he wants with it. So I don't really know. But anyway, I just really thank my buddy for sending me that text, because we don't agree doctrinally on some things, but he made it very clear how awesome it is that we just need to surrender to him and live that out and stop worrying about all the little finite details and secondary details. Comes first through him, and everything else will flow through that. Everything else will follow. All the truths will be revealed. His love will be revealed, and he'll change the way you think and the way you operate. But you have to yield to that. It's not like some magic trick. You have to literally start giving more of your time to him than you do everything else. Not any one thing, everything. Like I said in previous videos, I used to do that. I used to go, I watch God stuff and hang out with God more than I do, play video games. And then I say, and I only watch this many hours of TV and I spend this many hours with God. But that's not even it, man. It sounds good, right? But that's not it. It's the TV, the video games, the this, the that. All these things you do, you have to add those up. And then see if you're doing that more than God. That's how you're going to get more breakthrough. That's how you're going to get more revealing of his way and his word. It's by really submitting and sacrificing yourself to what he wants. And eventually, it may seem mundane at first, but as he starts unpacking stuff, you just start enjoying it so much that, you want to do it. That's all I want to do. I wish I could just spend like a week just doing nothing but the Lord, listening to him, worshiping him, getting into the Bible. That's all I want to do now. It's crazy. I never could understand this book before. And I could read it all I wanted, and it was just a book, and I was just hearing these stories and kind of getting a little gist of why God did what he did. But until he flipped the switch for me, it was crazy. Because now every time I read the things I've read a million times, it's like, how did I just walk right over that? Because I was reading for me. I wasn't asking him to show me anything. He wants relationship. He didn't make the Bible so you could go on without him. He made the Bible so that with him and the word, you could actually understand what he's trying to do. And when you get the big picture, I'm one of those people, I like to know how things work. I was a rebellious kid because people would say, no, you got to do this because I say so. And I'm like, well, if you just tell me why you say so, I would willingly do it and it'd be a lot better for everybody. But that doesn't work with adults like that, because you're just like, no, you do it because I say so and that's it. And your boss, no, you do it because I say so and that's it. Well, I just didn't like that. Well, God doesn't do that. That's so beautiful. He's a good dude. He doesn't say, you got to do this because I say so. He'll explain exactly why everything is everything and why he wants you to do certain things. Because it's all a master plan. It's all by a great design, by the grand architect. He's got it all figured out. He sent his son so that all this could be possible and all this understanding with us could be possible. So, hope that encourages you guys today. I'm so glad my friend sent me that uplifting thing. I was literally in tears because it was so cool how we could, totally be different, but line up and submitting to him and following him. It's just awesome. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll throw a couple of short ones up this weekend. It's what, we're going to do this every day. And maybe I'll throw up some pictures of some fish I catch today, because God willing, the bounty is going to be amazing. All right, guys. Love you. Friday. Later, y'all.